pledge allegiance will remain standing for our prayer. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight giving thanks for all the blessings you bestowed upon us this past week, Lord. We ask, Lord, to continue to be with our children as they continue their school and through recovery programs and summer school, Lord. We just ask you to be with them. And we continue to ask to be with the children during summer when they're at home. It's a fun time for them, but we also ask that your hand of shelter be over them during this time. Again, we ask you to be with our teachers during this time and their dedication to teach these courses in summer school. And we ask, Lord, to be with anybody that comes in contact with these children and what an important role that is in their lives. Be with us in this meeting tonight, Lord, and lead and guide us in every decision that we make. In Christ's name. Amen. Okay, we've got the agenda there in front of you. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda. Motion made by Ms. Carter.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Davis. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We have the consent agenda and only two items in there are our minutes from the May 12th meeting and our special call meeting after our meeting. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion made by Mr. Ross. Have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Ayler. There's no discussion on that. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There is none. We did not have anybody signed up for public comments, so we'll move right into our facilities request. I don't know if Dr. Smith wants, I know Mr. Irby is going to request. Did you want to add anything?
You guys just want to come up and kind of explain your situation and what you're looking to do.
Sure.
Thank you all for allowing us to be here this evening. You don't know who I am, Brandon Burby, Anthony Pulse with the Hardeman County Arts Center. Again, thank you for letting us speak. You all, if you've seen our social media or local news over the past couple weeks, have probably seen that our building, we noticed at the end of March, that we suffered some significant structural damage due to the weight of the ice. As I told the story this weekend, everybody says, well, you had your dinner theater, you had Hee Haw, you've had different events in there, you know, why are you canceling things now? Well, it's not every day you walk into a building and you look at the trusses and decide to look and make sure that there's no damage to it. We were getting ready for an install project, which led us to see the damage. After we consulted two structural engineers, they had some safety concerns for occupying the building, which has led us to looking for other venues to continue our productions and events. While we're waiting, number one, on the insurance company to get back with us to let us know if they're going to cover, and number two, waiting for repairs. The contractor we're using has told us once we get to the point that we can move forward with repairs, we're looking at 4 to 6 months for construction. At this point in time, we know the roof's coming off the building, and then some aspect of either reinforcing trusses, adding some for additional support, or replacing all the trusses. In some form, that is our repair plan, but we don't know what it's going to be yet. Before we get to the request, I want to thank Ms. Hardeman at Bolivar Central and Dr. Smith for approving our request for the use of the auditorium for our production this past weekend, and also moving our rehearsals to that space, to the auditorium at Bolivar Central. We were very thankful that we were able to make that work on such a short notice. Also want to take a moment to thank the maintenance and janitorial staff. When we got there, the dressing room, backstage, and that back room was left a lot to be desired, but they got that cleaned up for us and actually got us a usable restroom backstage, so we're thankful for them. Our next production that we have scheduled is Dear Evan Hansen. We just announced that last week. It's scheduled for August 28th, 29th, and 30th. If you're familiar with the storyline, Dear Evan Hansen includes impactful messages relating to mental health and bullying, and we think that the production will be very impactful to our community. One way that we're hoping to make an additional impact because of the content and the message behind the show, we are planning to offer a 15% discount to high school students that come on the night's performances with their school ID, so they'll get discounted admission to the performance. So that's one way we want to continue to impact and outreach in our community. So at this time, we would like to seek approval for the use of, and the possible discounted use of the auditorium at Bolivar Central, for the production of Gary Van Hansen. Again, that's August 28th, 29th, and 30th. And then the same rehearsal schedule will be the week before and the week of the show, there at the high school auditorium. I have, as of this afternoon, Ms. Avent did confirm that those dates are available. That Friday night is a football game, so we may have some parking challenges, but we can work around those.
Remind me what the fee was when they was passed.
$750.
$750 per night.
It was $750 for the weekend.
Yes, this past weekend was $750 for the weekend, and I think it ended up being $890 for personnel fees.
I thought y'all kind of provided some scholarships and some things for
We do,
our
so
students.
the Arts Center provides two $500 scholarships per year. Prior to this year, it was one for Bolivar, one for Middleton. We've combined that this year just because of the number of applicants that we have. So we do two, countywide, whether it be Bolivar, Middleton, or homeschool.
I mean, personally, I don't have no problem with the $750 again for the weekend, and let them use it. Any other opinions? I mean, it's more than $750 because they have to pay for someone for cleanup, and they also have to pay for the person to lock up and make everything's over.
And you all should have gotten an email with, the details of this and how that came to be, plus in the Google Drive, there's the facilities request that has the whole procedure.
I'll make the motion that we allow the Hardeman County Arts Council to use the Central High School Auditorium August the 28th through the 30th, with the same fee of $750 plus additional fees that are required, so.
I want to remind our board too, not only are they a partner with us, they allow our students to volunteer there to get their beta hours. That's very helpful,
It is.
yeah.
What, I guess, what did y'all end up paying this last,
$1,640 was the total.
so
So it's $750 for the weekend, and I guess it was $890 for personnel fees.
That would have been cleaning plus security.
which is, like, security, like, I mean, they,
The assistant principal
okay,
at this time.
that's what I was saying.
Got a motion on the floor, if somebody don't wanna second it, and they wanna make another motion, we'll let it die for a lack of a second.
I'll second the motion. I think we ought to be partners.
Could we cut it any more than what we could?
Well, now that we've got a motion and a second, we gotta vote on that.
Well, we could amend the motion, all right?
If the person that made the motion, the person that seconded it, so, yeah. Welcome for discussion, so.
Oh, well, I mean, I was just thinking about if we gave them the opportunity to use, I mean, if they do use a scholarship, they give a kid scholarship, and you're gonna give our students a discount, I wouldn't mind them using the facilities and just paying the supervision and the security, you know, I mean, that's really all that we're gonna be out anyway, is paying the people to open and close it, and for the janitorial services. But I mean, that may be.
Y'all will be using it other than those 3 nights, right?
That's correct. We'll have a total of 6 or 7 rehearsals over the week of the show, the week before.
About the same as what you done this time?
That's correct. We did 6 this past time.
And this clay that's coming up is a small cast, so it won't take a lot of immersions.
Is there a fee associated, I guess, with entry, or y'all charging?
Tickets are $15.
And that's, three nights, right?
Friday and Saturday at 7, Sunday at 2.
We have to pay for the expenses of them using the facility at least, the cleanup, the security.
And I don't mind making it less, I don't wanna cut it, I don't wanna say nothing.
It's roughly gonna be the same, probably the same amount of money for the suit, well, just time wise, you think this, what was that, 800 million?
8, 9, I think, 8, 7, 8, 9.
Does that put you on a bind, the money part?
I mean, if you factor that in this past weekend, we did not make anything on this production that we just did. Obviously, if the insurance claim is approved, that should be recoverable through our insurance company because it's expense related to, having to relocate due to the damage. But if the insurance company does not pay, then yes, the additional fees, that's cut in. I mean, the show that we did this past weekend was $1,800 just for the rights and $950 just for the materials before we had anything else. Dear Evan Hansen is somewhere in the $3,200, $3,300 mark just for the rights to do it and the materials before we have any additional production expense, costumes, in a different space, lighting, projection, things like that. So, I mean, we're probably looking, once we factor all that in, I would say we're gonna push $7,000, $8,000 for this show because we're gonna have several $1,000s in equipment rental to outfit the auditorium with the production equipment that we will need to do the show.
When will you know if your insurance is gonna? No.
Their engineer was here, at the building last Thursday. We should have their report, by the end of next week. So we're hopeful by the end of the month, but we don't know.
I don't mind amending mine, I don't mind knocking it down to 500 if we do 25% off for our students. Hate to get in the negotiation thing, but.
15 would be all we could do according to our licensing agreement.
16%?
15%,
15%, okay.
according to our licensing agreement with what we've paid.
You made the original motion, right? Can anybody?
Yeah, somebody can make a motion
Oh,
to amend it
okay.
if they want to. There's no problem, somebody can make the motion, we'll vote on the amendment first.
I'll make the amendment to charge them the $500 rental plus the other fees. Keep it, I guess, at the 50.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Taylor. Do we have any more discussion on that? Okay, the motion, we're gonna vote on the amendment first to be, for the fee to be $500. Do a roll call. Please.
Taylor,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Henderson,
Yes.
Pope,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Swift.
Yes.
Okay, now we've got a motion and second to actually let them use the facility, so, any discussion on that? Nope, okay, go ahead.
Taylor,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Henderson,
Yes,
Pope,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Swift.
Yes.
Thank you. I just did have a couple concerns related to that, and then I have one more request. The concerns, Obviously, this production, as I alluded to a minute ago, will have some more production equipment. Lighting will have either a video wall or projector screen and projector we're bringing in. We do have some concerns because school will be in session at that point in time. School was not in session with our rehearsals and Always Patsy Climb this weekend. And I just want to give you some of the things that we did experience. I have tried to reach out to Miss Avent the past couple days, but have not been able to contact her. She's been in training and hasn't been able to contact me rather. We had items in the dressing room that were thrown away that we had to replace. We had costumes that ended up being thrown on the floor when technology was come and being removed out of the auditorium. That, you know, we had to spend time cleaning those. And we had some lighting equipment that it was either moved out of place and or was knocked down. So we have some concerns that we had those things happen when school was not in session. And we just have some concern once school's in session and kind of want to see, and you know, I'll talk to Miss Avent, but you know, what can we do to safeguard the equipment that we're going to put in there? Obviously, we're not going to be there throughout the school day. And a step further, if there's damage that occurs to the equipment during the school day when we're not there, does the school have any liability, or will they take responsibility for that because it is in y'all's possession at that point in time?
I don't think so, because it's your
Yeah, I
rental.
mean, I don't know that we can change our normal routine of daily school session to around that unless Miss Avian's got it.
I think
But I mean, that wouldn't cover the equipment, but I mean, she making, I don't know what they use the auditorium for every day.
That would have been good information to have before the vote.
Before we
Yeah.
voted.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll have several $1,000s in equipment in there. I mean, we already did this past weekend, but
When will they put that in there?
probably when we go in for rehearsals, she'll be in there for 2 weeks.
Yeah, check with Ms. Avon, because that's her, I mean,
Sure.
I won't say her school, but it's her.
She's in charge of it.
Yeah. She has authority over that, and then if you don't get the answers, then you can reach out to someone at the central office.
Sure. Okay.
And go from there.
The other request that we had, it is a larger cast with a wider ratio of male to female. There are or was 2 dressing rooms backstage. One of them now is used for textbook storage. Again, we got the 1 bathroom working backstage. The other restroom facility back there does not have plumbing between the toilet and the wall. So we're just wondering if that could be addressed between now and when we use that facility for that show in August.
I don't think we can guarantee that. I mean, we can try, but without talking to Randy,
Right.
I'm not going to guarantee that.
Sure. Well, we're just throwing it out there that, you know, if that can be addressed, the second, you know, restroom facility would be nice backstage. The last thing that I have is another usage request. I have reached out to Ms. Crow at the elementary school, but she has not confirmed that the date is available. I want to go ahead and put it on y'all's radar as well. The Hardeman County Hall Perkins Center does a Family Feud fundraiser for the center every year, and that is at the Arts Council building. At this point in time, that will not be able to be held just because of the same with the damages. That's scheduled for September the 19th. We've requested and to see if the date is available for the elementary school gym, just because that already has a projector screen and AV things there that would be helpful for that event. They wanted me to see if we could get approval for that space pending that it's available from the school and see what the usage fee would be. That would be a 1-day event. Again, that would be a full charity fundraiser for the Carl Perkins Center.
What date is that?
September 19th, it's on a Saturday.
What's your association with Carl Perkinson,
I'm the secretary of the advisory board, and Anthony is on the advisory board as well.
the Carl Perkinson?
That will involve
Good question.
putting down the plastic on the floors and putting chairs out. So that's something that I don't think is addressed in our procedures.
We talked about the auditorium from high school, but I mean, same thing with our production. I mean, we would have to bring in, the amount of equipment that we'd have to bring in for that fundraiser just really isn't cost effective since it is a fundraiser.
When are you gonna have to know or have an answer on that
I don't have to have an answer tonight, honestly, I don't even know from the school if it's available. But we're just trying to get a game plan so we can, announce that fairly soon.
I think we need to table that or whatever.
Well, we really need to find out and make sure the school don't have anything going on.
When I hear back from the school,
Sunday?
so on Saturday.
Can we check with Ms. Crowe? I mean, you've talked to her, right?
Yeah, she was in training or in a meeting today when I reached out to her, so she wasn't able to check and see if it was available.
Yeah, we'll wait,
Yeah.
I think we'll wait on that one. I think that needs to be handled a little bit different than the other one, of course, but. I don't have any problem with that. Everybody good with that?
That's all good.
We'll get back with you on that.
Sounds good, thank y'all so much.
Okay, next we have our policy review, Dr. Smith.
We have a policy for review tonight. TSBA is behind quite a bit on their usual legislative updates, so we're still waiting for those, we've not heard back.
Okay. Keep on going.
Teacher salary scale for 26-27. As you know, we moved bachelor's degree up to $50,000, and this salary scale includes a 4% across the board raise all the way down, including those in the longevity areas at the bottom. We're one of the few districts that still do pay longevity years. The other thing is, we really try to keep our teacher-pupil ratios much lower than a lot of other systems. We try to aim for 20. That's a big benefit to teachers. We can't pay as much as Jackson, but we try to really keep these classrooms as small of size as we can. There's a few areas where we only have one teacher per grade, and that one class that can come through could be large, but over the majority of the part, we try to keep it 20 students and below. And we take a lot of pride in making that happen. But this is specific to the teacher salary scale. As you know from the budget, all employees in the district got the 4%. But the particular teacher salary scale has to be approved. Now, with that being said, we still have not gotten approval from the State Board of Education for state salary minimums. We feel like this will meet it. If it does not, we will have to bring it back. But at this point, in mid-June, we need to be recruiting teachers, and we need this document to do it. So we know they will not go down. There may be a few areas that have to go up. If they do, we'll bring it back. If not, we will have met the minimums and continue to go on.
Any questions for Dr. Smith? We have a motion that we approve the teacher salary scale, 4% across the board.
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Mr. Davis, seconded by Mr. Ford. Any discussion? Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Our committee reports, is there anything else on that, Dr. Smith? Our committee reports, we had two that met this past week, the budget committee, and Gene Ross will take that.
Okay. This is the time of the year for budget cleanup, and coincidentally, it's the second year in a row Kenny has missed this meeting. And I'm beginning to smell a rat. Because there was about 150 budget amendments to be discussed if I did them justice, which I may not, but at least he didn't have a lawnmower accident this year. It was kind of extreme last year. We do have one budget, and it is the summer school budget. Is that gonna be up there or just in the packet? Okay, I'm gonna have to look at your packets, and I'm gonna just hit highlights and try not to keep us here all night or anything, but the summer school budget needs to be approved, and I'll present, as I said, the highlights of that is for $363,107.40. And understand it's kind of moving thing, like we've recently got additional state funding for it. I would like to point out that summer school funding does come mainly, almost entirely from the state. I understand we have 230 students, maybe give or take a few, that are participating in summer school this year. And I also understand that it's been changed a little bit. The state is allowing us to have carryover on summer school this year, and that will carry over to our after-school program if we have carryover. And from what I understand, they're still going to Lone Oaks. I think that's probably the big hit as far as the kids are concerned, so they enjoy that, going out there, I think, one day a week. But if you look at your chart there, you'll see that just about all of the line items on it has to do with personnel. Teachers probably being the biggest one at $151,550. Medical personnel, also people, principals, bus drivers. So all of those are the big components of that, along with instructional supplies and materials. Are there any questions on that's the one budget that we have to approve on the summer school? Brad, you better be quiet, you gonna take over. Okay, I guess we need to stop, and that does come as a recommendation or approval from the budget committee, so we'll stop at this point.
Okay, we have a second to approve the summer school budget of $363,107.40.
Second.
Second by Mr. Swift. Any discussions or questions for anybody on the budget committee? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, the first of many amendments has to do with our volunteer pre-K program. And I remember when that program started, we had enough money for everything. But I also have been told that that is no longer the case anymore. These teachers are hanging around and making more each year, and the state's doing their normal thing and not fully maybe funding it the way that it needs to be funded. But anyway, I'll remind you that pretty well all of these amendments is just pretty well moving money from one slot to another. So that's what we're doing. Even, I think even maybe having money for this pre-K program show up as of recently. Is that correct? Anyway, the main component, or the main thing I'll mention on this has to do with the teachers. There was a decrease that was made in the teacher line item. Maybe the teacher didn't have as many days with pay, so we were able to move that money to medical insurance. And as you'll see on all of these budgets, medical insurance seems to be the big unknown, the big bugaboo, or whatever you want to call it. I think it's been increased, but you don't know exactly how much to increase it, and therefore we're having to make several line item corrections to that. Medical insurance up 6, in that category we're up in at 13,000. Instructional supplies, other supplies and materials. Any questions about the volunteer pre-K? The desk component is the big one. It's the general purpose fund. Again, we're cleaning up. As you noticed, moving money from software into Social Security, into Medicare, other fringe benefits. But it's just cleaning up, moving money from one line item to another. The next little thing there, it starts off with homebound teachers. We did have to increase homebound services. About $2,200. Other charges was a decrease of $2,200. Down below, the travel was reduced by $2,225. Social Security increased $2,200. Top of my next page. This is the Board of Education, 310, You see increases to medical insurance again. Increase of $3,000. You see an increase to liability insurance, and that's an increase of $5,000 to workman's compensation. Decreases to legal services. As you might remember from a previous meeting, we had upped our legal services fund due to the number of requirements that were being placed on us as far as having our attorney attend several meetings and several more consultations than usual and so forth. But we're able to reduce that. Travel is also a reduction from 10,000 down to 5,000. 72,610 is operation of plant. I think from field trips and things of that nature, whether that's in transportation. The boiler insurance was increased for $3,000. Building contents and insurance increased $5,000. Natural gas, $3,000. We were able to move money from electricity to offset that. The 72,710 is transportation. Of course, the main thing is bus drivers, and we had to add $40,000, remove $40,000 from that. I think our field trips kicked in, and we also are running several double routes and so forth, so it's necessary to move $40,000 to that particular component. Also from that transportation category, we had planned to buy 2 motor vehicles, and it was decided not to do that, so we were able to decrease that particular line item by $49,000. All right, the next is just to clean up some grants, I believe, was transferred from general purpose in the amount of $7,500. The next one down at the bottom is a grant, CW Fit grant. If you remember, Grand Junction has had that grant for the last couple of years. I believe it was for $10,000 maybe. And they were satisfied with that because it allowed them to reward their kids and provide some things for them that they probably would not have been provided. And we've just received $40,000 for that, and that's the reason for the budget amendment. And this is going to 4 schools this year. Grand Junction is not eligible to participate anymore. And my memories already failed me, but it was Middleton High School, Tomb, Whitehall, and Horace. Okay, so that's pretty good grant. It'd be $40,000, and each school will get $10,000. I'll go to the next page, 72,210. Well, there again, medical insurance was increased in that category of $1,000, and we took it from other supplies and materials. Title I, Part A is federal. This is cleanup. It's really not enough to even mention $937. So we moved $937 to at least some more. Her salary is more than that. So. Anyway, the next is also federal, and it's pretty inconsequential also, $1,450. So an increase in regular instructional equipment, increase again in medical insurance, and also in other equipment. The next one, Fund 143, is the cafeteria fund. And I guess the major things to mention in this is that maybe we had a cafeteria worker that was not in the budget, and so that we bumped that up $18,000 to cover for that. Also, we were quite short on food. Food costs went up tremendously, and $38,000 plus was representatives to that. So, not budgeted enough food for food, and then the one worker that cropped up that was not in the budget. The next one, 141 CCEIS, this is, I guess it's a grant, early intervening services, and, I guess the main thing about this is it's enabled, more than the money part of it, I think the people at the central office are glad to get out of the disproportionality part of it. For the last several years, we've been having to submit documentation and everything else, I guess, to prove that, we weren't, punishing one subgroup more differently or whatever than another. So I think that's quite an accomplishment, so I applaud the central office for finally getting us out from under the disproportionality of it. The only thing I'm gonna say there is the same thing I've been saying, medical insurance is up around that. The next one is the Perkins grant, which we've always, been proud to have the Perkins grant. It is no carryover, and it's kind of flexible and so forth, so, there were some changes being made, with the decrease in staff development and so forth like that, but we are glad to continue to have the Perkins grant. The next one is our 21st Century grant, which is our after-school tutoring grant. There is no carryover for this. I think we've just moved around $3,200 around within this particular amendment group. The next one is the preschool development grant, and this is one of those short-range things. I think I was told that it has to be spent by June the 30th, and as you can see there, it's a budget of instructional supplies and materials, a little over 6,000, in service 8,000, total $15,000 in this. And on the next page, nothing significant there. Again, just not any dollars at all, $110. Next to the last one is the innovative school model. And we did not have enough money in supplies and materials, so money was moved from PD for that. And then one that just cropped up is concerning the ice storm. It's an insurance recovery that we need to add to our budget. And I think there were leaks after the ice storm. There was a greenhouse that was destroyed. There were pipes that were bursted, and $151,650 is what we got from that. All right, I think that's it. Any questions? Lisa can help us out if you do.
When we get that money for insurance recovery, do we have to go before the county commission with that? Because it's actually money going back in their fund balance. Do we have to go before them for that?
I questioned that this afternoon, I've got to check, I don't know. But that is what has come in and what will be spent by June 30th on all those.
Any more questions? Those comments, recommendations from the budget.
I think it's 11 categories, if I'm not mistaken, so I'll read them back if you want me to, but that's just up to y'all.
He said he'd read them back, I'm not volunteering.
We have a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Swift. Any questions or discussions? Having none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Is there anything else with the budget? Sure.
No, I left plenty out, but I don't have anything else.
Okay, next we're going to our evaluation report, and that's going to be done by Ms. Avery.
We received the evaluation results back, we got that from the attorney, And Mr. Polk and Mr. Davis and I met before the meeting tonight, and we've decided we wanna get a different format for tabling the results. So we're gonna table, the results until the next meeting. We wanna go back and get a different format to do the results on, so we're gonna table it. Okay.
The previous one was too in-depth, and was this one not in-depth enough, or?
There were 29 questions, and when we did the evaluation, it was broken down into vision and board, it had different sections. And when she came back with the results, she did all 29. So we really don't know, it's not broken down into vision and board responsibility. So that's what we just kind of want her to go back and take it like it was done.
What was the recommendation, or I guess who made the recommendation to change from the previous format from last year?
The evaluation committee. We met, the one we've used in the past has always been kind of redundant with questions. You answer one question on the first page, and then about 5 pages over, it's the same question, but worded a little different. So we just decided to do something a little different this year. So is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I was
That
just
came as a
wondering.
recommendation from the evaluation.
Well, I was wondering what was the rationale between the format from last year.
So are you asking us to vote on, y'all making recommendations for us to change it, or y'all just wanna go back and?
We just wanna go back
Okay.
and let the attorney, send us the different format and what she did.
Okay.
Where did the one that we used this year come from? Did it come from another system, or do you wanna say
There was
that?
another district, Madison.
Madison.
We met and we had several different evaluation tools, and we all kind of decided the one that we did was the one we liked better than and it was, I think it was a Madison County evaluation. So, I can get you in.
I guess, with this being a free service from TSBA, that they were often handling the, evaluation, what was the rationale from not allowing them to do it this year?
I think we just decided as a committee to do something different, and that's all it's on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the other one, it was, like Jennifer said, it was a little redundant, some of the questions were, so we changed the format to break each section down, so the evaluation is actually completed. However, when the scores were tallied up, it wasn't tallied up and broken down by section to get an overall quantitative, percentage. So, that's the only thing we're asking, just to table the results. So the evaluation is done, we wanna go back to make sure that we get an accurate, give you accurate numbers as far as what the percentage was, as far as the areas that were met and not met.
Well, that's precisely, I think it's my point in allowing TSBA to do that with their experience handling the tabulation, whether it's the questions or whatnot. Would it have not been, better for them to handle the evaluation?
Yeah, I mean, they could've, we could've sent it in and tabulated them, it would've been the same, they would've tabulated the same way, but the format that we got back, like she said, it was just all done collectively, and we have no way of knowing what areas are proficient and what areas where the expectations were not met. But we're just trying to get a more accurate breakdown of that.
We've not always used TSBA, I'm gonna jump in there. When I first came on the board, there was a different format that was used. it's not a law or mandated that we use TSBA. It's a board option.
And I think we discussed in the past
Right.
about,
How complicated
Yeah.
it became.
it was very complicated, and we just decided to do something a little different. I mean, we had talked about, I thought we had talked about it, and when you got the evaluation, I guess you realized it wasn't the same as what we've always done in the past. We just decided to go to something different as a committee.
Yeah, previously, it was a 1 through 5 scale. Basically, you know, I don't know how you would describe it, but it was on a 1 through 5. If it was, you know, agree or strongly agree or disagree or strongly disagree, whereas we wanted it to be more cut and dry, where you either met the standard or you didn't meet the standard.
Yeah, I think Mr. Ford really just wants to know, you know, do the new format, but just let TSBA.
Yeah, I mean, even if the point was to make it less complicated, but we, at this point, it doesn't seem like you achieved that objective.
But I think it's just what y'all were asking is the way it came back the way it was.
Yeah.
I think they're just gonna ask a different way and it's gonna come back to us. I think in the end it's gonna be okay.
That one we've been using was almost an endurance contest. I mean, I was certainly glad to see the change, because you're answering the same questions.
Several times.
It's almost like they're trying to trick you, you say you put the same thing in.
Well, they sent it back and it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't broken down. They really sent a summary as opposed to an actual breakdown of each individual question, each individual section. And you can't get a overall analysis through a summary, because it doesn't give you an absolute number.
And y'all will have to say next meeting, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the plan.
All right. Anything else? Ms. Ava? Anything?
No, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
I'd like to thank the evaluation committee and the budget committee for meeting, this past week and before our meeting. This time, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Dr. Smith for her director's report.
It is June, so it's a relatively short one. In your package, you have an updated organizational chart. We try to send these out 2, 3, 4 times a year. If you will notice on this one, there's a little bit of a change there. When Dr. Wooden left, he was in the top tier. We removed that position and moved it over under Assistant Director of Academics and Operations, and moved it into the areas of curriculum instruction. So that position is going to change the way it reports to. With new faces, we have several in the administrative teams. Some of these have already been posted, some have just very, very recently been announced, so I don't have the full-blown PR pieces yet. But at Bolivar Middle School, Dr. Sandra Cheers is going to be the new principal. Mr. Eric Gibson is going to be the new principal at Toon Elementary. And Miss Jessica Coleman is going to be the new principal at Whiteville Elementary. Dennis Bills will be moving into the school improvement and federal programs position. And then we have 2 new assistant principals. Terry Mills will be moving to Bolivar Middle School as assistant principal, and Miss Wendra Griggs will be going to Whiteville Elementary. All right, you have a lot of sheets in your packet. I promise you I'm not going through all these, but I do want to point out just a few. What this is it's our actual TCAP and EOC data that's been heavily disaggregated. You've gotten a lot of the base numbers throughout the year, but this is broken down not only by grade and by subject, but it is a 5-year comparison with this. So the first sheet is going to show you how many students there were testing, how many were in each category, and what the percentage did from year to year in met and exceeded versus below and approaching. As you know, you always want your met and exceeded to increase, but you want to see a decrease in below and approaching. Overall, the insights into academic achievement in the ELA trends, the district-wide proficiency from 23 to 25 grew by 1%. Grade 6 had the most over-year growth, outperforming the average by 5%, and district-wide proficiency over 5 years grew by 9%. And this is an academic achievement. We talk a lot about growth, but this is actually achievement. Math trends, district-wide was 3%, for the 2 years, and then from 5 years, it was 12%. So we've really been making some strides the last 2 years. Science and social studies trends are in there as well. But if you will turn to the second page, I'm gonna show you 2 pages, and then you'll have these for each subject area. The first page at the top, you see it says met and exceeded. If you look at the trajectory, what you want this trajectory to do is to go up, because these are the last 5 years, so you want it, since it's met and exceeded, you're wanting improvement, you're wanting to see the bars go up. And if you look over to the right, the EL all 10 ready, those are all of our grades in 10 ready. You do see that we are increasing that met and exceeded bar. On the next page, this is the below and approaching. So if we wanted to see met and exceeded go up, we want to see below and approaching going down. So on the far right, you see on the ELA 10 ready, it is going down, and then it's broken down for you by grade level. So you have these for all subjects. The next section is the same thing, it's just EOC. EOC is high school. Then after that, you have math, science, and social studies. So it's just a lot of disaggregated data that you can look at by year, by grade, and by subject. All right, a report on pathway promotion for 3rd and 4th graders. As you know, a couple of years ago, Tennessee passed a law where students who were not proficient on the TCAP test in 3rd grade would have to retake the test, or go to summer school, or go to tutoring. And over the years, their flow chart has adapted. And if you look on the screen, that's the latest one. So just being able to figure out what pathway a student can take or needs to take in 3rd grade, 4th grade, and 5th grade can be extremely difficult. But we are proud to announce that this year, at this point, as long as everybody continues in their pathway through the summer, we will not be having any testing-related retentions in 3rd, 4th, or 5th grade. So that's really good news. Couple of things going on. As I said, I'm not gonna have a lot on this because it's summer school only going on. Summer school has started. It runs June 1st through 25th. It does run till 3 o'clock each day because we are moving to a 4-day week. So help some of that out. But they do get to go to Lone Oaks and do a lot of other great things. On the left, that was the STEM Center playing in summer school, and they actually have set up an obstacle course outside, and they're running a drone through it. So it's kind of like playing kickball or soccer with a drone. Pretty neat stuff. Once again, I just wanted to recognize all the partnerships that we have, because without these partnerships and organizations, we could not do a lot of the things that we do. Gear Up and AIRS help provide career readiness for our students. They take them on. We talk about field trips, but those are field trips that really matter to those kids. They gear them specifically to, this student wants to go to Austin Peay, we're gonna take these 30. They can get out and do this stuff. Jackson State has our dual enrollment at our middle college, huge success. University of Memphis and TCAT, tons of dual enrollment there. Of course, our relationship with Lone Oaks provides us outdoor classroom activities for most of our grades. And then the UT K-27 is actually for the UT Flagship Scholarship, where our students, if they meet certain criteria, can attend UT Knoxville tuition free. So we have a lot of great opportunities that are going on for these kids, but we couldn't do it without these partners. This is just a snapshot that Central put together of their graduating class. They had 165 total graduates, 87 Hope eligible graduates, 48 Tennessee Promise graduates, almost $90,000 in local scholarships, $2.7 million in national, state, and university, which is a total of $2.82 million in total scholarships for that one graduating class. We had 19 middle college students earn their associate's degree the week before they graduated high school. 100 industry certifications were earned, and 140 graduated with dual enrollment credits or hours, and that's just your senior class. So that's what it's about, is providing these opportunities for kids and helping them get to things that they want to achieve and get on the pathways that they want. So very proud of both of our high schools and the work that they're doing with their future ready. And that is all I have.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Smith. Any questions for Dr. Smith? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion, we adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Motion, Mr. Ross, do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Naylor, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all for being here.
Enjoy yourself.
That's right. You be careful.